Oh, that was quick. All right, see you guys next
Hey,
time.
Neil. No. Yeah, we just got to make sure the cameras are on, you know? So after the win in Jacksonville, this fight with Ian Garry was something you were interested in. And while he feels he got what he wanted, you could technically say that you kind of got what you wanted, too. So how did you react to getting the call to step in on short notice and fight Ian?
Man, it was great. I mean, even before I got the call, I was preparing for this fight anyway. I was initially supposed to be here just coaching this weekend for Austin Hubbard. So when the offer came through to actually fight this week, I was like, hell yeah, that's just icing on the cake for me. Because I knew the matchup was on the card. Something I've always done throughout my UFC career is I always watch the upcoming fights to just kind of be ready in case one fight were to shift one way to another. So we had to jump in and take advantage of a short notice opportunity. And for this fight, I was kind of doing the same. I remember jokingly telling Austin, hey man, I know I'm going to be there for your fight on August 19th or whatever, but just in case, I'm keeping my weight low in case something happens or whatever. And sure enough, I got the call within about 7 days to take the fight, and I was stoked for it. Like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's make it happen.
Ian, as you probably know, has said a lot. He's done a lot in the build to not just this fight with you, but even with Jeff. He wore the mugshot T-shirt, said he's sort of carrying this card in the build to it. He's the biggest star on it. It's not technically the way you promote and sell fights, but what do you make of the way Ian has been kind of promoting and the trash talk, stuff like that? How do you feel about it?
I feel great. He's doing what he has to do to sell the card. At the end of the day, he's promoting the card. There's going to be an ass whooping that takes place on Saturday night. I'll be very happy to give him that ass whooping. So he wants to carry on and wear mug shots and do whatever else. Great. Have at it. Do all the work. Go out there. Do what you got to do. But come Saturday night, I'm going to have a time of my life when I'm beating on him. So I'm looking forward to that part.
He respects that you have such longevity in the sport, that you've had 30 or so UFC fights, but he feels like this is not going to be a competitive fight at all. He's going to manipulate you. He put the palm out in the air instead of you just going to kind of walk into it, and he's going to do whatever he tells you to do, essentially. Your response to that and where your confidence is at stylistically with Ian?
I feel great. I mean, honestly, over the years, I've done this literally dozens of times. I mean, this is not my first rodeo fighting a guy who's undefeated, a younger opponent, whatever else you can name it. I've been there, done that kind of thing. So he should have all the confidence in the world. He should feel like he's come in there and have a great night. It's up to me to go out there and like literally show him like, no, you made a huge mistake. Got a lot of growing to do. Put a beating on him. I mean, there's like. There's almost like different levels to assholes that come out. There's the whooping that you give somebody in high school, like, or in grade school. So when he tough on my mom, and you put the beat him on there. And there's a whooping that you give your son now, like to kind of teach him life a little bit. And being a father, I've become quite accustomed to that kind of whooping now, and that's kind of whooping I'm looking forward to giving on Saturday. I mean, I know he's out there, he's very cocky, he's feeling himself, everything else like that. But every once in a while, his dad, you got to step in like, hey, settle down, son. I got this. You got some growing to do. I'm looking forward to go out there doing just that.
I want to ask you about this because we talked about how much of a veteran you are in the UFC, and last month we found out that Michel Pereira missed weight in preparation for his fight with Stephen Thompson, and Stephen made the choice to just not fight him because he had been through that before with Darren Till, and he lost a close split decision, didn't really want to do that again at this point in his career. What did you think about that, about Stephen just saying, nah, thanks, but no thanks?
I mean, you're talking to a guy who tried to fight Daniel Cormier on a week's notice. So for me to turn down a fight for 3 pounds, like, just something that's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, to each his own. Every man is different. If he felt like it wasn't the right decision for him to make at this point in his career for his own longevity, his own whatever, more power to him. But, like, it's just one of those things that it's very difficult where and it's at the end of the day, I want to be a fighter's fighter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if a fighter makes a choice that's best for him, I want to be able to support that decision no matter what, especially when it comes to, like, how you view it in the public and that kind of thing. So if he made a decision to not fight because he felt that it would be something that was going to work against him because of the weight discrepancy, whatever else it may be, I wouldn't be able to support that. But as a fighter myself, it's a very hard decision for me to see myself making where I would turn down a fight because of 3 pounds.
Last thing for me, I know you're focused on Ian and focused on your fight on Saturday, but big fight in the main event, Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. Put the analyst hat on. Your thoughts on the matchup? Who do you think gets it done?
I mean, honestly, that's the fight that I'm just happy to be done with my fight and be able to enjoy that fight at the end of the day. Because honestly, like analysis has, like I like both guys. I'm a fan of both guys. I hope that both guys do very well. The winner of that fight most likely fight a teammate of mine, Corey Sandhagen. So for me, like that's the bigger picture. It's like, all right, cool. Whoever wins, great, congratulations. But the winner gets Corey Sandhagen. That's more so what I'm more so excited about. So good luck to both men. I'll be sitting back enjoying it as a fan. Hope they go out there and have a great fight.
Neil, over here to your left. Neil, over to your left.
On the left.
Obviously, we weren't expecting to speak with you, a week ago, but that's what you do. You're a true BMF. You're always stepping up, taking fights on a week's notice. Are you ever not ready to take a fight on short notice?
I mean, honestly, like the question would be, am I ever actually ready for a fight? Like I know this fight came together on a week's notice, but in reality, based off everything else that took place in my life over the last 7 months or so, I feel like I'm better prepared for this fight than I was my last 2 fights earlier this year. Life itself has taken a toll on me over the last couple months, and I feel like now I'm finally in a place of like clarity where I'm able to like go out there and actually focus on the fight itself and not feel like I have all this baggage and everything else weighing on my shoulders going into the fight. Right now, like literally the only job I have is to go out there, corner Austin Hubbard, turn right back around, go out there and have a great fight of my own. And having those only 2 things to worry about going into a fight, I feel like that's going to allow me to have one of the best performances ever, especially after the last 7 months for me. I mean, this is a great opportunity, a great lineup, a great matchup. Everything is lined for this fight. We can go out there and do great.
So when he was here, obviously he has a very big personality. He was a little meaner than they've kind of hinted at. He called you irrelevant. What's your response to that?
I mean, to his own, say what you want to say, but Saturday night, I'm going to literally, I won't even say beat, I'm going to spank that ass. It's literally look like a dad taking to his son. That's what it's going to look like. And like, it kind of excites me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things like, everyone's only as good as the last fight. My last fight was split decision win. So I'm sure some people sit back and look at it like, oh, like that fight wasn't the greatest. The fight was this, the fight was that. But at the end of the day, like I know what I was going through during that time through that fight, and I know how much that fight meant to me. I know where I'm at mentally now and what I'm capable of. And Saturday night is going to be almost hysterical watching him cry. Like it's gonna be that fun for me. Like it's gonna be a great opportunity.
So obviously you've had an incredible run in the UFC. You've beaten some really good fighters, but you've also had some lows. What do you think you have to do so you have a lot more of those highs and less of the lows?
The biggest thing, just getting my life to line across the board. I mean, there's no way I can like live one way outside of the gym, outside of my professional career, and then like not expect those things to take a toll on what I'm going to perform like on fight night. I mean, some of the things that I've had to overcome throughout fight weeks or even going into a fight, like most people are cashing their chips, nonetheless, not even like want to show up and actually compete that day. But I fought through it all, and I fought through some of the lowest of lows, and it's like it has nothing to do with the fight itself. I mean, at the end of the day, I've been knocked out, I've been choked out, I've lost a decision, I lost every possible you can think of. But the actual things that I've had to like overcome and endure throughout life itself doesn't compare to what the fight game actually brings out of me. So right now, where I feel like everything else is lining up my life, things are finally kind of shaping up to be where I want it to be, so to speak. Going out there and fighting is one of the easiest things I can do in my life right now. Like, it's literally like, oh, really? I get to go out there on Saturday night and fight some young up-and-coming cocky guy? Like, sign me up. I'll do it twice. Like sign me up next week again for another fight against him if you want to. I feel like I'm that confident. I'm that sure of myself. I'm that comfortable where I'm at right now, both mentally, physically, emotionally. So whatever comes my way at this point, Saturday night, I'm ready for.
Yeah, and my last question for you. When, we talk to future fans of the UFC 20, 30 years from now, and your name gets brought up, what do you want people to say about you? What do you want your legacy to be?
The biggest thing for me when it comes to there is just like this is my work ethic. That speaks for itself. Like if you look at my UFC career, I was never the biggest, I was never the fastest, never the strongest, but I was one of the most hardworking guys throughout the sport, and that spoke for itself. You take a step further, I never even had a guy to make a call for me when it came to getting signed to the UFC. I didn't even have a manager to go out there and make that call for me. It took me flying out to Las Vegas 4 times, trying for the Ultimate Fighter, getting cut 3 times to finally make the cut. And get an opportunity to do it. So like just how consistent I've been over the years, just how hard I was willing to work and how much I was willing to endure to get to where I'm at now is the biggest takeaway for me. So it's not necessarily like who you know or anything else like that, just how hard you're willing to go out there and chase what is it you want. And I'm living proof of that. Even so now, I still don't have a person I can call and say, hey, can you give me this fight? I really want this fight. It's literally up to me to go out there and make it happen. So I feel like anyone else that comes behind me could do the exact same thing for themselves.
Thank you.